Okay, and we're ready to go into game number 1 of this series. This is going to be loser semis, so we are still in best of 3 territory here. Yeah, I'm going for a fairly defensive Phoenix on the Dragon Arm side and a Parasol on the right side. Gonna be basing his game plan here around using that Phoenix for pokes and that Parasol for punch pairing here. Yätta sticking to that really solid double toaster set here on Twintelle. Gonna be able to just get up close to Yam and just constantly pressure. Yam only having one arm here, mainly for the defensive use. So just getting 2 arms will kind of punch through Yam's defense here. And Yätta getting another nice grab in will bring Yam to roughly a quarter health here. Now onto Magic Pixel, and one more punch onto James' air dash landing will seal out the stock for Yätta. Yam gonna be switching things up here to try to go for something a little bit more aggressive with the Dragon Arm Roaster, and does start on the side of Buster Beach Nita to charge that up right at the beginning of the match. Does miss the glove rush there, that goes into the shield, but does get a left arm break onto Yätta as a bit of a consolation. But Yätta does get the full rush onto Yam. Now Yam does get the knockdown onto Yätta, does have the Dragon Arm Roaster back, will need to close into Yätta a little bit more to be able to consistently land that and get those Roaster knockdowns. Now Yam slow on the approach, but getting there. Yätta just managing to thread those toasters in at exactly the right time to get those little bits of chip damage in onto Yam. Now Yam does lose the Dragon Arm, but does manage to dash in fast enough to get 365 damage off the rush. And the positioning of that is not going to allow Yam to... It's not going to allow Yätta to trade that rush damage back. Yam just getting that rush right at the end. We saw this with Junior against Rifa too. Junior just going for the rush right at the end and not letting Rifa rush back. Now Yam in a much better position here. Actually going to go for the Roaster Phoenix again. Yätta finally going to be able to get that opportunity to rush that he didn't get in the first game. Yam trying to go for the rush, but that gets cancelled with the boomerang, with a cool ring. A bit too fast on the rush activation there. But Yam still gets the Dragon Arm back, gets a nice Roaster hit in onto Yätta, and that is another sneaky Phoenix. Now Yätta getting another nice toaster hit in, and one more knockdown from the air will roughly equalize things. The only difference here is that Yätta has the rush right now. Yam almost does. Needs a few more hits into the air or dashes or anything to build up the rush. Now both players have the rush. Both players are going to use it, but that cool ring coming around will take it just fast enough to give Yätta round number 1. Sorry, water. Okay, so we're gonna go to game number 2, and that is gonna be on Temple. Sorry, I zoned out a bit. I have the stage now, everything is alright. And now, yeah, I'm choosing to switch things up for game number 2 by switching to the Scully on the Dragon Arm. That is going to be a bit more difficult to connect onto Yätta with those double medium arms that Yätta does have. It's going to be very risky for Yam to find those opportunities to use that Scully. But when that does hit, that poison, when it stacks up, it's so irritating. Now Yam does manage to back off far enough into the corner to get that Dragon Arm Scully back, gets a nice backdash and cancels that rush with the aerial Phoenix there, and goes in for the rush at close range, gets it too. Yam making some moves here, putting Yätta at one hit away from Doom. And Yätta just trying to pressure Yam here with those constant toasters, but Yam managing to jump up and get one more Scully through. Yätta deciding to switch things back to that Parasol to give himself a bit more defense against those light arms. Yam switching to that roaster on the right side, which is gonna just allow Yam to still keep up with Yetta's boxing a little bit more. Yätta playing much more better defensively this round, backing away, but not far away enough to allow Yam an opportunity to get that Dragon Arm up. Gets a nice arm break here to prevent that setup from happening, and a few more pokes will send Yätta to almost rush range, and there's a nice grab onto Yätta. And now both players do have their rush up. Yätta actually potentially could save that rush into round 3 here. Might have to use it if things get a little bit more dicey here, but that is a health lead that Yätta can time Yam out with. But 2 more hits on the approach will seal out the round for sure for Yätta, not letting Yam do any last minute rush shenanigans. Final round here, and Yam will go for the immediate air dash into rush to try to just spend that. Yam has switched over to a much more poke heavy loadout, which does kind of fall against direct pressure, so Yam could not go for a rush trade, had to just try to catch Yätta off guard. gets a nice jump out of the rush into rush cancel there too. Yam's still a bit on the back foot because of that earlier exchange, but bringing things back a little bit with 2 nice Scully hits in there, 3 nice, 4 nice. And that Scully, once it hits you, it doesn't stop because that Scully tick on you is so annoying. And yeah, managing to use that Scully, making that Scully work, getting Yam up to 1-1 to equalize the score here. Mausoleum and Sparring, the 2 more smaller stages, are going to be banned from Yam's side, and Yätta bringing things back to Buster Beach, where Yätta did win game number 1. Arms nice. And yeah, Buster Beach is set. And that is a weird change from Yätta, going for the Buster Brass. Actually, Yätta did lose that last round, so Yätta could freely switch, and I mean, Brass on Buster Beach is a nightmare. Going for that Carbo style Chilla Brass too. Trying to get those freeze chains onto Yam with the safety from that armor and those deflects, allowing Yätta to pressure really safely. Now Yam has been able to back away into that corner to get that charge back up, but when Yam does charge up that Dragon Arm, Yätta charges up those magic muscles and gets that super armor. Now Yam goes for the rush, does not get it, backs away to get the Dragon Arm, but Yätta with the magic muscles, with the 1-2-3 punch from those Chillas, will seal out the round. I did not think Yätta would switch here, given that he did win round 1 with that Twintelle with those double toasters. But this switch is working. We know how effective Brass is on Buster Beach. This map was taken out of the Japanese legal stage pool because Pega was so dominant on it after all. I mean, it's a caster cliche, of course, but whenever you see a Brass on Buster Beach, you've got to talk about Pega and Japan. Now, Yam does go for the double glove to counter, trying to get those fire hits into Yätta to nullify the effect of that super armor. Yam did go for a defensive rush early on to break out of that grab, but it was a bit too far away to connect. Now Yätta has the rush ready, is going to go on the approach, is going to get that Brass super armor, and that safe approach is going to give Yätta the grab. And Yätta gets the rush ready to close out the game and takes the series with that surprise Brass switch. I don't have game audio coming through my headphones, but I'm going to assume Brass said something like, "Who's the champ? Me?" And yeah.